Hello my crafty friends and welcome to my channel. This is Joy and I would like to thank you all for the love and support you gave me in the comments of my first video. I am extremely grateful for each and every one of you. I created this card for the Altenew release and after receiving requests for a tutorial, I am excited to share it with all of you. In this tutorial, I will walk you through the process step by step. You will need the Craft a Flower Orchids layering die set, garden trellis cover die, and the Build a Garden carnation stamp set. You can see the description as well as refer to my blog for the complete list of supplies. Let's start by inking the flowers. I inked the center portion of the first two layers of all the flowers using tight blue ink and my ink blending brush. For the third layer, I inked only one side of the die cut piece using tight blue ink. Next, I inked the edges of the first three layers of all the flowers using ultraviolet ink. In my previous video, I shared a tip on how you can use alcohol markers or watercolors to color the small die cut pieces. In this video, I would like to share another trick if you prefer ink blending. I use washi tape at the back of the negative die cut piece and then adhere the die cuts to the panel. This technique ensures that the die cuts stay firmly in place and I can ink blend without concerns of tearing the smaller or delicate die cut pieces. I ink the edges of all the layers of the flowers using rubellite ink and a mini ink blending brush. Due to my chronic illness, there are days when ink blending becomes challenging for me. On such days, I use different techniques to achieve the beautiful results I desire in my cards. In my upcoming videos, I'll be sharing additional tips on crafting with chronic illness. Even if you're not facing any health challenges, these tips will greatly enhance your crafting experience. I am excited to share these tips and tricks with you all. So please subscribe and click the notification bell to stay updated on my future videos. Next, I applied Andromeda ink on the edges of the petals to create darker shadows on them. If you have seen my cards, you know that I prefer bright, vibrant and highly saturated colors. And to achieve this, I always build up the inks in layers just like you would in watercolor. In this video, I have shown you how to apply the inks twice on each layer, though occasionally I may repeat the process 3 or 4 times to achieve a bright and vibrant look that truly stands out. Remember, the key is to experiment and find the perfect balance of colors to create stunning results. After that, I repeated the previous process and inked all the layers of the flowers using tight blue ink, followed by rubellite dye ink, and then used ultraviolet ink. I absolutely adore Altenew's Craft a Flower dyes. They are one of my favorite products by Altenew. What about you? Do you share the same sentiment? Or is there any other product line from Altenew that you prefer? I would love to hear your thoughts. So let me know in the comments below. Lastly, I applied Andromeda ink on the edges again to intensify the shadows. I started by inking the entire branch using just green ink. Next, I used Hunter Green ink to color some areas of the branch. After that, I went in with evergreen ink and a detail blending brush to add shadows to the branch. Then I repeated the process of applying just green and hunter green to create a smooth ink blend. Whenever I have to assemble the layering die cuts, I place them on my work surface as per the layering guide. This helps me to assemble them quickly. Now let's splatter some gold watercolor on black cardstock. I sprayed some water on the watercolor to activate it. Then I used my size 4 fine brush to pick up the color. You can tap the brush using your finger, but I prefer the technique of tapping the brush on another brush. This is one of my favorite techniques to apply gold foil on cardstock. I start by squeezing out some glue on a sheet of acetate. I have used the Tombow glue as it dries very tacky. Different glues have different levels of tackiness. You can experiment and see which ones you prefer. I then use the blending tool to apply the glue on the cardstock. Start by applying less glue as you can always apply more if you need it. Please do not use your ink blending brushes for this technique as the glue might damage the bristles. Once you finish applying the glue, check if the glue is tacky. Then I placed a sheet of gold foil on the cardstock and gently burnished it with my fingers. To remove the glue from the acetate sheet, you can wash it in lukewarm soapy water. I have been using this sheet from over 2 years for different techniques, and I will talk more about it in my future videos. I applied the embossing powder on the cardstock to remove any static, and then I embossed the sentiment on it using gold embossing powder. After embossing the sentiment, I trimmed the cardstock and then embossed the edges. Since I wanted thicker embossed edges, I inked them at an angle. Depending on the juiciness of your ink pad, you might have to change the angle of your cardstock. I stuck the cover die on the black cardstock and then stuck it on a white A2 card base. Next, I stuck the sentiment on the card front. I wanted the base of the branch to be under the cover die cut, so I used my finger to lift it up and then stuck the branch under it. After that, I stuck all the flowers on the card front. If you enjoyed this video, kindly support my channel by subscribing and clicking the like button. Lastly, don't forget to click the notification bell so you can stay updated and be the first to know when I upload my next video. Thank you for being a part of my creative journey, and I hope to see you next week.